have you done database earlier in your subjects or not? So as you know, database is related to queries and modular structure related to database design. So we are going to understand data management system. For example, evaluate the role of databases within the organizations. Critically evaluate the database design. Critically means crucially or be able to point out each and every aspects of database design or database development features. 100% you have to make it possible that you must have to study each and every aspects of database design and development. This is how we are going to critically evaluate our database design. Techniques that can be used to connect databases to the other applications. For example, you are using Oracle databases and your application is other software. You have to connect your database with them. Just like WordPress, it is a technology that is used to develop and maintain LMS, and also you can also connect your database with WordPress technology. And LMS by two types, you can also connect by automatic module, and secondly you can also connect your database by manual module, which is done by customized database. Basically task is to connection the database for with respect to our system. Just like hospital management system, they have two types of databases, dynamic and static. Dynamic database are those which can accessible throughout the world and wherever you want with the help of only Wi-Fi or with your device. But static database is the database that is reachable only on your local computer, or you can say offline module. So both two types have their own uses according to their needs, and we have to connect them with our application according to our requirements. The next one is recommend a database management system to design a complex database. For example, do you know about banking management systems or banking system? Database behind the banking system is the most complex system, or you can say the most complex database is stock market database. In short, bank management system, market management system, these are the most complex database systems, and the complexity level of these database system is, you can say, out of 100 it will be a 1 of 100. So these are most complex and enough complex to understand. So which type of database you are using is all up to you. And indicative content means developing database for organizational structures, data elements, data sets, forms, and reports. Basically, when you are going to design your database, you have to design it according to your needs or the client requirement. For example, if you are holding a client of finance management, then the requirement for creating database is different. If you are having a client of can say education management system, education industry, from the education industry, you have different types of requirement according to their requirements, or you according to their needs. Then you have to design your database according to the client requirement 100%. You cannot add or you cannot subtract any other requirement with respect to your easiness. You have to develop your own database according to your own needs. For example, if I talk to a client related to just like hospital, for example, hospital management system, then the total requirement for the hospital management system will be changed according to the scenario that is requirement for me. So database design, entities, relationship, attribute keys, data types, and normalization. Basically, these are the key elements that is used to develop a secure database. Database connectivity, connecting database to application, relational database connectivity, ODBC, JDBC. Do you know about ODBC? This open database connectivity. Okay. Just like MongoDB. MongoDB is an open database source, so you can connect MongoDB according to your requirement with your application. And second one is JDBC. It says Java Development Database Connectivity. Basically, when you are going to develop a Java right program like application, mobile application, Java is basically used for both type of software like web app and mobile app. So when you are going to develop your own database with respect to application, mobile application, or with respect to your Java web app, then you can use JDBC, database management systems. Database management systems are of two types. Can you specify which type of database do you know? There are only two types of database. The first one is relational, and the second one is first one is database management system. These are the system that is used statically and within the local computers. And second one is relational database, in which data is present in the form of relations. This database is known as RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, and MongoDB, which is also a database type. It is known as only DBMS, Database Management Systems. Okay, these are of two types, but you can specify it only one type according to your need. The second one, in the second hello, is be able to design a relational database in the line with client brief. For example, if I am the client and I will give you a requirement, for example, sometime in the requirement gathering or requirement elicitation phase of developing software, or you can say in your case database design, sometime client give you a vague requirement, not a clear requirement. They will give you only hint of that requirement, just like the layman. For example, if I am a layman or a common man and I don't know about computer and any other thing, and I am running a business consultancy, or you can say yes, travel agents, just like, and I will give you an order or client requirement that build a database for me to hold records of my clients, their info, their travel history, and their many other things, in which you are going to develop, in which I want to cover the data of my client whenever the client will reach to us by the use of their ID. ID hold client name, email, phone number, and link PO box number, and PO box means mailing address, and color photograph, and many other things that is related to their biological life. So you have to design according to my needs. These are the requirements. But at the same time, you have another client give you a vague requirement, just like example that client is running a hospital, or you can say airport, private airport. So you have to develop, and he say I am running a private airport and you have to develop a database for me. He just give you a simple statement, I am running a private airport and I need a software, or you can say in your case I need a database that holds record for my clients. So you have to develop your RDBMS according to the client requirement, and now you have to elicit all the requirement of the client at the behalf of your client. This phase is really tough for you, and many times you have to deal with such type of clients, but at the same time these clients have ratio of 10 to 90%, means 90% of clients you will hold know about the requirements, and only 10% of the clients you will hold inshallah in future, where they don't know about the clear requirements of their needs of the software. And plan the design of complex relational database in response to client brief. For example, you are going to brief your client, so you have to design the database prior to the briefing of your task or your project. Design a complex relational database in response to client brief. You have designed your relational database according to that. Normalize data to third normal form. Here we have a parent table. We have to break this table into up to third normal form. You can specify your normalization according to your need and according to your requirement and according to your data tables. For example, if you have a data table that is long enough, then you can also normalize it up to 6 normal forms according to your requirements. Here we have first normalization, in which we are going to break this parent table into two subchild, or you can say child table. Here we have ID, account holder name, account number, CNIC, city, type, branch code, status. Basically, this is for the bank. When we are going to normalize our data, then we are going to make it same, but we have to extract out our branch code and the status. Here we have branch code and status column, and these columns are only accessible with respect to our ID. For example, if Hamza have the ID of 1, then its branch code will be 0571 and its status account status will be open. Now here we can see that 0571 have the ID of 1, which is for Hamza, and it is also have the status of open, which is also for the status of Hamza and having the ID of 1. Record, same structure. Now you can also normalize it at the second stage. You can also break this parent. Now these two tables are the parent tables, and you have to normalize this table into second normal form. Now the parent table will remain the same, and another CNIC is connected with the branch code, and then CNIC again connected with the status. Now if you can see, ID1 have the CNIC of 37406, and similarly 37406 having the status of open. Now if this record and I blink and go up to parent table. Now here we have ID number 1 having the Hamza, having CNIC of 37406, right, and status is open, right, and 37406 having the branch code for 0571. It is the same, because when you are going to normalize your data, then you have to connect it according to your need, as you have done earlier in the RDBMS. Similarly, with the third normal form, have you done it, normalization of data? All right, so we have to make it quick overview. Okay, indicative content planning, relational database design, database requirement, ERD. Do you know ERD? Okay, but can you continue explaining? Yes, okay. So this table is normalized up to third normal form, because our data and our structure of table is not collapsed up to yet, and here we have the same ID and the same CNIC. Actually, basically the result is this. Now I am going to annotate it. Here we have ID, here we have CNIC, or you can say in European and internationally, you can say it is social security number, CCN, CNIC or CCN, SSN. Okay, here we have ID, SSN, and account holder name. Account holder name, if you have account, you must have some status, and if you have an account, then it should be in some branch, BC, branch code. Okay, now ID is linked with CNIC with 1-to-1 structure. Do you know about 1-to-1 structure? It says ERD interrelational diagram, right? 1-to-1 structure. So one record hold only one person hold only one record according to the ID, and multiple IDs, or you can say duplication of record, is not allowed in 1-to-1 relationship. So CNIC is connected with account number. Someone, if you are the one, you have some ID in the bank management system, and bank management system is redirecting towards your social security number, then your social security number is connected with your account number, and account is connected with two substitute, or you can say attribute. If you have some account number, then it must be in some branch. You have the branch code. Now you have another attribute known as is your account is open or not. So these are interconnected with one another. Might be I am misplacing my many other attributes related to banking management system. So I am saying sorry for that. But according to the third normalization, these ID is connected with now CNIC account holder number, ID. These are interconnected. Now when these ID are interconnected, then they have redirecting with help of CNIC, or you can say social security number, with the third table. Now this ID will get the record for Hamza, or you can say Waleed, in this table, in the second table. For example, it's for Waleed, then it will extract the record for city of Waleed. It says it's Lahore, and account type, it says it's saving account, and CNIC, what will be the CNIC? Now this CNIC will redirect itself to third table. Now CNIC will get the rest record, for example the branch code, and what will be the status of the account. So when you are going to query your data, or you can say your requirement data, then your query will help you to extract the data with the help of ID or your social security number. This is how your extraction of data will be performed in the banking management system, but you will get the different picture because of user interface. Planning ERD, DFD. What is mean by DFD? Do you know about that? It says data flow diagrams. Just like when you are going to operate your banking management or your ATM machine, so it will perform according to the step that is stored within the instruction of the software, right? ATM will get the card first, so it is the data flow. Now the data flow begins. ATM will get the card and perform scratching the card number over that, and now the ATM will get the account number from that card number, right? It is the first step to get the account number from the card number. So this is the first step that is going to store in the DFT, data flow diagram. Now data will flow. Account number will get extracted from the card. Okay. Now it will say enter your PIN number. The data flow again flows from the account number to PIN number. When you enter your PIN number, then it says enter your amount into the multiples of, for example, 500, for example, 50 euro, for example, 500 euro, for example, 1000 euro, for example, 5000 euro, up to so on. So the data flow comes from PIN and landed over the multiples of data. Now, when you enter your data, for example, you want to extract 500 euros, then you will put 500, and then data flow diagram will save the record and move it toward further transaction, and it will say, do you want to get receipt of your transaction? If you want to get, then you have to put yes. If no, then also it will move to the end of the flow. In both cases, yes or no, it will move to the end of flow. And when you get your transaction, the first flow will end, that the ATM will return your card first, then cash box you will get your cash, and then you will get your receipt, and then all data will get stored in the backend. Okay. Dictionary, decomposition, functional dependencies, decomposition. Decomposition is same as normalization of data. You are going to decompose the data. You are going to break the data tables into child tables. This is how decomposition will get formed. Database design, designing database table. You can design according to your need. Creating database indices and constraint. What are the indices? Says first you have to put some ID or whatever you want. First record 7, second record. These are necessary. And constraint. Constraint are those you can only put one record with respect to one CNSE or social security number, means one-to-one relationship. Constraints. Designing SQL queries. So after the end of course, you will be able to implement database design. Construct a complex database to meet a design brief. You can construct your complex database as per requirement, as per client guideline, as per instructor guideline, and also according to yourself. Implement database design features to meet design brief. You can also design your own features. For example, if you want to include some photo upload option, then you can also do this. By default, it is also in many databases, it is also provided. Test the database to ensure it meets the client brief. For example, client gives you 100 requirements in the requirement elicitation phase, then all requirement 100 out of 100 will be done into your project. Inductive content will be database construction, advanced SQL queries, user action. Okay. Advanced SQL queries actually are basically complex queries that is run according to your requirement for data elicitation after the database design. Implementing database features, for example, security, database links, LAMP, WAMP. LAMP, WAMP actually are the local servers. GUI. GUI will be done by yourself. Database testing. You can test your database, and for testing you must write your test plan. You must write your database component and extreme data and error handling. Extreme data is the complex data, and error handling. You have to manage your queries. For example, access database. You can also done this, but I recommend you have to do in my PHP my admin this XAMPP, WAMP, LAMP. These are same. Actually, these are PHP version, and these are local computer servers, and also free source. You can also use it as a free software. So that's why I recommend you this XAMPP control or WAMP. Here we have different modules, for example, Apache, MySQL, FileZilla, Mercury, and Tomcat. I recommend you MySQL because complex query will be done in MySQL as well, and Apache is a local server. So, for example, we have to start database, we have to start Apache local server and MySQL. Then we have to click on admin of XAMPP. Similarly, on the WAMP, here we have Apache, Maria database, PHP, Perl. We have technologies, MongoDB, React, and many other WordPress. You can run your SQL queries in MS Access, but at the end you have to convert your project into PHP MyAdmin local server databases. Here we have databases, Srms, SMS, Figma, eSol, cars.com, and many others. I have to show you these are student result management system, and here you can run your queries. Okay, here you can search, here you can query. For example, you want to elicit data from the table, then you can also do this, and you can export database, you can import, you can do operations. For example, rename database. You want to adjust privileges, you want to delete database, then you have to know about the drop database query. You want to copy the database and many other operation privileges. Here we have some error because of my own adjustment. We have routine, events, triggers. Triggers are those events that will trigger. For example, if I put wrong password on the database, then the trigger here for what I have defined, trigger name delete database. When I put wrong password, then it will delete event, delete, drop, database, which one, and the name of database, which database you want to delete. Before, after, table will be same. Definer is admin. Okay, so close it. I don't want to drop any database. Local says we have unsafe changes. Okay, Here we have design of Srms, student result management system. Okay, this is the schema, you can say. Here we have id, here we have int, here we have id, int 11, int 11, int 11 id, int 11 id, int 11 id. Basically this id is joining the table data from normalization. These table is normalized up to third normal form, and columns are divided into subcolumns with respect to id. This id is joined for the data elicitation from the tables. Here we have structure. So that's why I use PHP MyAdmin. And also my access is also very helpful for us to making forms. You can also do this. You can make forms, reports in MS Access, but you have to develop your GUI. You have to make test plans, database components, extreme data, and error handling. For example, if this is the error handling, like a trigger. For example, if I put wrong password first time, if I put wrong password, the whole database will get dropped or deleted. Okay, this is error handling. You have to do that. If for example, if I put wrong password for the first time, the database will not get deleted. If I put second time, the database will get warning. Okay, if then database get warning, if you put third time wrong same password, the database will get deleted. This is how your error will get handled. Or for example, if you want to put your data into the table, then and if the field is integer type and you put character type data, then the database must show a message, an error message, that you have to insert integer type data. This is how your error handling will get done. Be able to review the process of design and implementation of database. For example, if you have done all the three LOs successfully, then you must have to review all these LOs, and you have to critically evaluate your design, development, and all the phases that you have done into your development. Identify, and you can also identify improvement where you need. Review the database implementation process to establish lesson learned. For example, if I give you a task to review this database, for example, I put up admin, I will give you .com SMS, it's student management system. Okay, and I will export it, ignore all, quick SQL. Okay, we have go button. Okay, here we have SQL file of SMS means student management system, and I am going to save it. I am going to send this to the management.